Good morning and welcome to the show, and thanks for waking up with us today. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. We're opening up with Vonda, the Coupon Queen, right here in our studio. Vonda, welcome back.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being had. And how's everybody at home doing?
Everybody's doing awesome. My mom said hi.
Okay, let's give a shout out to Elaine. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Mom.
And you should be very proud because your daughter is very, very thrifty, and we're saving money with her every time you come on the show.
Yes.
So we're going to pass along some money-saving tips, and I see you've got a little show and tell with you today.
That's exactly what it is. I've been talking about how much money the viewers can save just by watching sale signs in the store or just following sales cycles. So I went shopping at Dollar General, and I was able to pick up those washcloths.
This stack of, what do we got? Six washcloths, 3 red, 3 white.
For 20 cents.
20 cents for
20 cents.
Wow, that's almost unreal.
Yes.
20 cents. Was it like clearance or something? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
It was on, that they started at 25% off, and then it just increased and went down to 90.
I see it's originally marked $2.
Yes, $2.
And now you've got 20 cents for 6 washcloths.
And the 18 pack of washcloths, I paid 40 cents.
40 cents for 18 washcloths.
For 18 washcloths.
That's amazing. Why are they so cheap? What is going on?
Okay, because remember I was on and I said that depending on the season or if it's a holiday, all stores have to get certain items out. So right now, summer items need to get on the shelves. So that means all of the fall and spring items need to be gone.
So these are like seasonal washcloths, I guess?
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
And they're going to have brand new washcloths that are out just for the summer.
Wow. Dollar General.
Dollar General.
40 cents and 20 cents.
Yes.
40 cents for 18?
For 18, 40 cents.
That's just amazing.
Got the receipt to prove it.
I know.
And then we have...
Of course you do. She saves receipts, coupons, and everything. Okay.
The rose bush. I bought 4 rose bushes, Don. Now remember, I said last month, the time to get anything pertaining to gardening. This rose bush was only 45 cents.
Wow. And it actually, and now you look at a rose bush, this is the way they sell them anywhere. You know,
Right.
when you get a rose bush, they're like that. You put that in the ground, you water it, fertilize it, it'll spring right back up. So there's nothing wrong with this
Nope,
at
and
all.
it's healthy green.
Yeah.
Right here.
I mean, that'll take right off.
Yes.
So that's, and you got this at Dollar General as well.
Dollar General as well. So I wanted the viewers to know that I'm saving a lot of money on things that I use on a daily basis. Everybody uses washcloths.
Yeah, and nobody thinks of Dollar General for washcloths.
For washcloths.
I mean, I think of Dollar General, well, you know, maybe you got to get a quart of milk, or maybe you got to pick
Right.
up something, you know, quickly. But, you know, if you do shopping in earnest at places like Dollar General and CVS and all that stuff,
Yes.
you can save a lot of money.
Exactly.
Vonda, the Coupon Queen, you're a genius.
I try.
20 cents, 40 cents,
and 45.
and 45.
All 90% off.
Holy 90%. That is a
90%.
substantial savings.
Yes.
Now, if someone wants to save more money with you, we can go to your Facebook site.
They can go
right?
facebook.com/the Coupon Queens.
The Coupon Queens.
Yes,
and that's
plural.
QPONQWEENS. Coupon
That's it.
Queens on Facebook, and we can find more of these money-saving tips and
Yes.
how to get smart like you and save tons of money. Thank you so much for coming on the show and helping us save a few bucks here.
Thanks, Don.
And we'll be right back after your Waking Up with Don weather. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Shelly Calloway from Booyah Mortgage. I don't know why I just want to do that every time I say Booyah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Booyah.
You know, hey, last week you were on. We talked about Booyah. We talked about Shane, who's the founder of Booyah Mortgage.
Correct.
And him being a prior Marine or a Marine.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Always a Marine, that's right. And how you guys cater to the military crowd.
Well, like we talked about before, you know, the passion that we have behind this, especially Shane, is a veteran helping a veteran, never leaving a man behind.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I would like to do that I did not do last week, and that's read his mission statement that he actually came up with.
Yeah.
And every time I read that, and I read it to other people, it resonates with them so much so, it's literally brought people to tears. And it really excites me every single time. His mission statement says, a veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserved, is someone who, at one point in his life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for the amount of up to and including his life. That is honor. And there are too many people in this country today who no longer understand that fact. My mission is to ensure that we give back to those who wrote that blank check.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff. And you're so right. People do write that blank check when they step into the military and step into uniform. And the least we can do now on the other side of that is to make sure that they can take full advantage of the benefits that they've actually earned.
Absolutely.
Like a VA home loan.
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of things that people that have the VA eligibility do not realize. And one of those things especially is the biggest question I get, can I have more than one VA loan?
At the same time?
At the same time. Well,
I would say no, just being the dumb guy I am.
Most people think that. But yes, you can have 2 VA loans at the same time. There's 2 different situations, but what I'm really going to focus on is there's 2 entitlements the VA will actually ensure your certificate of eligibility, and the entitlements being 0 to 144,000. The second entitlement is 144,000 up to 417,000. So you can have 2 insured loans, 2 VA loans, if you've used your first entitlement of up to 144,000. As long as we're looking above that amount, 144,000 up to 417, we can do a second VA loan.
Now to get that VA loan, doesn't it have to be your primary residence?
It
does.
does.
You can't live in 2 places, can you?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned that. So it would be a step up. It would be either you are relocating and you need to rent out your current VA home, put it up for sale, whatever the case may be. But at any rate, it would be you literally moving to your new primary residence.
I see. So your new loan has to be your new house, but your old loan can be a rental.
Correct. It could be a rental if it's underwater and it can't be sold, or it can be assumable. That's another thing.
That's brilliant. I mean, who knew? Well, I didn't know. You knew.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and I bet you most veterans seeing this or retirees didn't know that either.
Well, a lot of people don't know that VA, they're assumable loans. And it has to be someone else who does have the eligibility requirement for VA.
Now, why would I want to have someone assume my loan? What's the advantage to that?
I will tell you this just to sum it up. The best thing about today's market is rates. Rates are super low. In a year, let's say that they're at 5.5%. You were able to lock in at 3.5%. Your loan is now upside down. That could happen. So someone could come in and actually assume and take over your payment, and all they have to do is get qualified by the lender that currently services your mortgage.
So they could do that on a handshake and a smile, and you're free and clear of
There's
that
some
loan.
things they look at, but as long as they are VA eligible, they can actually assume that loan and release the rights from you whatsoever, and then you move
someone
on.
who's eager to get into a home
Sure.
would want to assume that mortgage.
And is able to get a lower interest rate that you locked on versus maybe a higher interest rate 2 or 3 years down the road.
Shelley Calloway, how do people get in touch with you?
They can give me a call at 850-532-9332 or go to Booyah Mortgage.
BooyahMortgage.com. I love it. Booyah.
Booyah.
That's got to be the last word.
Booyah!
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with the lovely and vivacious Laura Nelson from A-List Accounting, and we're going to talk about alternatives to QuickBooks. I mean, QuickBooks is probably the most commonly used accounting software for small businesses now, isn't it?
Correct, yeah.
And now, I had migrated over from another program, Sage, which was a little cumbersome for my limited bookkeeping experience. And QuickBooks was just like a whole new, Wizard of Oz, the house lands, you open a door, everything's in color and it's fun, That's kind of what I felt like when I went to QuickBooks. But now there's something even more user-friendly than QuickBooks.
Yeah, for those people that are frustrated with QuickBooks and just can't stand it, more or less, there's Xero, which is a cloud-based accounting software.
And that's Xero?
Correct.
Xero?
Yep.
Like xylophone?
Yeah, and just like QuickBooks, it's anytime, anywhere, mobile device, accessibility. So, I mean, you have real-time access, real-time financials. So, I mean, to QuickBooks Online versus, desktop QuickBooks. But the one thing is it simplifies things in terms of it says money in, money out.
Duh.
Right? Instead of accounts receivable, accounts payable, because some people just can't quite comprehend that. And then also it has, what do you want to call it?
it doesn't really presuppose any accounting knowledge, zero, does it?
Right.
I mean, you can just be your typical butcher, baker, candlestick
Correct.
maker with your own small business and just parachute into zero and you're off to the races because it's
Correct.
there's no jargon, it's in common English.
Right. And once you match your bank feeds that come in,
Mm-hmm.
You're done. You don't have to go through another step to reconcile, like
So
you
the-
do in QuickBooks or other programs as well. So
Yeah, that whole reconcile thing is still a little mysterious for me.
yeah. Basically, you know, it's a instant. The dashboard is an instant view of your cash flow, which is a good indicator of your success of your business. You know, to see what money's coming in, what money's going out.
So it's a little more intuitive, it sounds like.
Correct.
Where you know where things are, you
Correct.
know. And anybody who's changed from like one system to another knows how cumbersome that can be. What if you're in QuickBooks now?
Yes.
Just like I went from an SUV to a little sports car, I was like totally freaked out. I didn't know where anything was.
Right.
What if you're migrating over and you've got to retrain yourself? How do you get all that information from QuickBooks to Zero? Do you have
Zero
to
has
fat finger it in?
no. Zero has a really good importing program that'll take exactly what you have in QuickBooks and put it into Zero.
So it'll just import it right in and you're
Right.
off to the races. So it's just a couple of clicks away, I
Correct.
suppose.
Right.
Now, is it very expensive or is it comparable in price?
It's actually cheaper than just your basic, like QuickBooks Plus is $29, sometimes a special $39 on average. Plus you have to pay for payroll, so you're looking at $70 a month, and that's up to 10 employees. But Zero is $30 a month with up to 5 employees that you can run your payroll through there.
So it's a little cheaper if you're a
Yeah.
really small business like
Yeah.
me.
Yep.
Yeah. Laura Nelson from A-List Accounting, thanks so much for telling us about Zero. And if we wanted to find out more about it or talk to you, what do we need to do?
You could just give me a call,
Okay. Or we can find you on Facebook, A-List Accounting,
yes, or either just go to my website, alistaccounting.com.
alistaccounting.com. Laura Nelson, thanks so much for coming on the show. And we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Heather Noyes from Raymond James Financial, and we're going to get some hot tips, maybe?
Maybe.
Or some lukewarm tips, or maybe just some friendly advice.
Right. Well, I think, you know, I mentioned I want to talk about some of my favorite things. One of them is Apple. And of course, Apple's definitely been a favorite stock of mine for years. And if we have some time, we'll talk a little bit about Amazon too. I just, you know, love the service, the one-click buying, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of
yeah.
dangerous.
You
and-
can spend money on Amazon.
And
yeah.
Amazon's doing some different things that I think are unique, that may be kind of the wave of the future in some.
Well, let's
some
start
of
out
the
with
companies.
Apple. You know,
Okay.
Apple, you know, historically, it's had its ups and downs, hasn't it?
Oh, it absolutely has. And I did bring a couple of charts to show you too. So some of the ups and downs, and then over, you know, investing over a long term in something like Apple stock. Now, let me do say this though: individual stock ownership is not for everyone. It's not appropriate for everyone. However, if you own a mutual fund that's a U.S. growth mutual fund, you probably own this indirectly anyway. So anyway, so just to give you a little background. The neat thing with Apple is that if you have an Apple device, right?
I sure do, yeah.
Okay. So is that they have a repeat business. Their clients, once you have an Apple product and they come out with a new one, it seems ridiculous. Oh, they're coming out with a new one, but then you end up usually getting the new one at some point. Anyway, I'm not sure if you've gotten the 6
Oh,
yet.
yeah, you know, when your contract's up with your phone, you bring it in and like, oh, here's the new one. You know, you can upgrade or whatever.
Right.
And
So they just came out with the 6 and the 6 Plus recently, and traditionally they have like maybe around 12 to 14% of their existing client base go ahead and upgrade right away. Well, they already had 20% of their clients upgrade. We think by the fourth quarter of this year, or just in the fourth quarter, that they're going to sell around 88 million phones in just that fourth quarter of the year.
wow,
So
88 million.
now the wild card kind of there is the Apple Watch. We don't know exactly what that's going to do. I have seen one in person though, and they're
Oh, have
really
you?
yeah, they're
I've seen them on
pretty neat.
TV and, you know,
Yeah, I think it is pretty neat. I just don't wear a watch, so I don't think I would ever get one.
they're kind of big.
Yeah.
But, you know, like everything else, I guess they're going to get a little more smaller and you
Right.
know, a little more manageable. And they do everything that your little iPhone does, so.
Do you have an Apple TV by any chance?
No, I don't.
Okay. They're kind of like, well, a lot of people are familiar with Roku, but it's kind of the
Sure.
same
Yeah, yeah.
concept that it plugs in, runs off of Wi-Fi, and there's all these different channels that you can watch. So you don't have to deal with waiting on any particular local cable providers to fix your cable or your satellite dish to go out or what have you. You have television that you can turn it on. You can run your music off of your iTunes through it and play it as well, and you can run your pictures, which could be interesting.
Yeah, so Apple TV is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, and it's been around for a long time. I just think a lot of people aren't familiar with it and haven't used it much. So just quickly, then we'll look at the chart. Maybe we'll talk about Amazon the next time because we're running out of time. This is just over the last 2 years. You can see it has been kind of a bumpy ride. There's been some, lots of ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. But this chart right here is really over the last 10 years, which I think makes the case for long-term stock ownership. You're talking $4 up to $137 right now. So.
Oh, man. That's huge.
It is. It's a very big run.
That's a huge return. So if you're going to, and if you do have some sort of pension fund or 401, you're probably already, unbeknownst to you, a partial owner in all this, but individual stocks are just not for everyone.
Right.
And that's the final disclaimer on this. But
Absolutely.
Apple's always a good bet.
Yep.
Sounds like Heather Noyes, Raymond James Financial, thanks so much. And maybe next week we'll talk more about the other.
All right. Sounds great.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dan Hines from Hines Coaching, and he's going to tell us about our budgets and what we should be doing to stay financially strong.
Yes, financially strong, and I've been in the business long enough now where I've had good clients and I have had not so good clients.
What makes a bad client?
That's a good question, because I would just want to tell two stories to the audience to know, how can you become great with money? And a lot of it comes down with attitude. And I've seen the good side and the bad side. And I had one client, it was a married couple, and one of the spouses seemed to be pretty controlling. It was their way or the highway. And as a coach, if you're married, I usually require that all of us are in the room together, because I don't want to teach one of you something and then that you go try to teach your spouse that and they don't understand and they have questions. If we're all in the room together or we're all on the phone together, then it works great. But this particular couple, we couldn't meet all at the same time. And the spouse that I ended up meeting with, they're like, here's what I want to do, here's what I want you to do. And I kind of sat back and I said, well, I'm the coach. This is where I help you and I teach you, and it's not really the other way around. And so what ended up happening was that particular client, that family, they weren't ready to listen. They weren't ready to change. They weren't ready to try something new. They just wanted me to fix them, but they weren't willing to do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like hiring Arnold Schwarzenegger, but then you don't get in shape. Well, if you don't show up, it's not Arnold's fault.
You're right. It's like hiring a personal trainer.
Yes.
And you not going to the gym. Yeah.
Right. You still got to go to the gym. You still got to do your work. And so the best clients that I've had are those that are willing to change. They're willing to learn and they're willing to listen. And I just finished up with a client this week. She was single, and she's been doing great. And what I saw with our training and my coaching was that at the very beginning she just listened. She was taking it all in, and when I gave her homework or to get the budget done and stuff, everything got done on time. And then by the end of our coaching sessions, she was taking charge, which is the good thing, is to say, because she knew what she was doing and she had practice and she'd made some mistakes here and there. And so her attitude was, I'm willing to do something.
So if people who come to get coached by you on their finances,
Yeah.
do they have to be in trouble to see you, or can you be doing okay? And I mean, what's your typical client? Are there people like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed with bills, we better go see Dan?
That's a great question. I've actually seen both. I have clients that are more paycheck to paycheck, and I've had clients that do really well. I've got one client, it's a family, and they've probably got close to $1 million in real estate, but they've just done well, but they don't really know why. Yeah. And they're at that point, they're like, well, we've done well, but we don't want to waste whatever has happened, and so they want to take control. So I've had clients on both ends of the spectrum, and so when it comes to how much money you have, it really doesn't matter. Where you live doesn't really matter. I've had clients over the phone in different towns and
states.
But
it sounds like what does matter is the mindset you go in with.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've got to be at least somewhat compliant and go with the program, right?
Right. You've got to be willing to learn, willing to change, and willing to follow directions. And I've had clients in the middle too, where they've kind of met me halfway and they've listened and they've done stuff, but it's they got to the gym, but they just didn't work as hard, and they didn't. Those that went in the middle didn't end up taking ownership and control. They just wanted to keep me telling them what to do. And eventually, as a coach, I want you to walk away happy.
If you want to get your finances straight, but you're afraid to call you because like, oh, it's going to cost me something.
Sure.
Is it affordable? I mean, is it?
Yes, it is affordable. And I, as a coach, I have people pay me up front, mainly because it can be, it's your first lesson to say, if this is something that you want, I don't take credit cards. So if this is something you want, and this is how you want to change your life, save up, pay for it, and it's kind of your first coaching lesson.
Your first coaching lesson, don't put it on a credit card.
Right, don't put it on a credit card, save up, and then if this is something that you want to change your life with, that's what I can help with.
Well, Dan Hines, that sounds like great advice, and maybe I'll come see you sometime.
Well, thank you, Don. I appreciate it. Absolutely.
Thanks so much for coming on the show, and we'll see you next time.